There you go.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
Good evening, morning, afternoon.
How's it going?
How are you? We're gonna play some not Celeste.
We're gonna make some Celeste.
We're gonna make some Celeste. That's much better.
Yeah, so I'm frozenflygone, I speedrun Celeste, and this is my fiance Bean.
Hi, I don't speedrun Celeste, but I like to make levels.
Bean is of the two of us, Bean does like a lot of the actual map making work and also composes a lot of music for our projects. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about Celeste map making because we love to do it together and want to show how it's something that shouldn't be super intimidating. So we started actually map making thanks to Edgecase Collective's Game Jam last year, and we loved it so much that we are making a sequel to the map we made then. And so we're going to just talk a little bit about how we do that and then work on our level for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, let's dive right into it. How do I play mods in Celeste?
Alright, so if all you need to do to play any kind of mods in Celeste, and we'll also talk about what mods and maps we recommend, is you need to get Everest. It's a map loader. And it also there's also what you need to run the speedrun tool, which many speedrunners utilize, that gives you save states. All you do is go to Game Banana, yes, Game Banana, it's silly, and download Everest installer, and then it is a magical, amazing tool. And that allows you to play custom maps. If you want to make maps, we have to get a program called Ahorn. So if you Google Celeste Ahorn, it'll show up in GitHub, and there's an amazing Ahorn wiki that goes through all the amazing things that Ahorn can do for you. And so this is required if you actually want to be making any maps.
Yeah, so if you're familiar with Lunar Magic or with Super Mario Maker, it's very much the same sort of interface where you have just your library of every single physical asset that you can manipulate in Celeste, just at your disposal to click and place wherever you want. All of the art has been freely available, thanks to the wonderful team over at XOK Games. And just, everything that vanilla Celeste comes with, you can use and you can change and manipulate to make your own levels from. It's very, very cool that the original development team has been aware of this and supporting this since the very beginning. But what is our project?
Yeah, so mentioned this a little bit earlier, but for the Game Jam, we made Quickie Mountain, which was inspired by the Kaizo hack Quickie World and Quickie World 2 by Valdio. I really love Mario ROM hacks, been playing a few of them, and I thought the style of that would be really fitting to put into Celeste. So we made an A side and a B side that were 2 screens each to mimic just the midway feel of Mario ROM hacks. So we're doing that again for Quickie Mountain 2. And so we're pulling even more fan favorite levels from both of those hacks. And we've made 5 A sides, 5 B sides, and now we're working on the C sides, which are just gonna be 1 screen rooms.
How do you make it harder?
No H, 1 screen. And so today we're gonna be making one of those C sides, and it's based off of Chuck City from Quickie World, which we're gonna watch.
Yeah, so this is kind of how we approach making, or at least starting to design these levels. We didn't really want to just try and make a direct port of these Mario games into Celeste, but how can we take those ideas and that feel and use everything that Celeste has that Mario doesn't, and try and reimagine Mario tricks in that way.
Right.
So the first thing, once we decided which levels we want to try and replicate, is to watch it. So let's just go ahead and watch Chuck City. Here we go. Surprise, there were a lot of charging Chucks around.
Football man, why jump? So as we're looking at this, we're trying to think about what can we put into our level that'll behave like these Chucks. There's not really enemies in Celeste you can bounce off of and manipulate that in that way that
but
much.
Isn't there? But isn't there?
Typically it's like, oh, there's a Goomba. What are we going to use to replace a Goomba? What are we going to use to replace these Chucks that we haven't used yet? Seekers.
Seeker City.
So welcome to Seeker City. That's what we're going to be making today.
So once we've kind of watched it a few times. We've written down some ideas for tricks and how they're going to translate a little bit. We then take a map and take snapshots of it so that we can look at the entire map all at once. We just take this one very long snapshot of our map, and we draw this little red line, a little family circus line of where does Mario go. In this level, we also want to make sure that we knew where the trucks started, sort of their placements as they manipulate throughout the level. So that's what these little green orbs you see here are. And then we have to make a blank file. So we open up Ahorn finally. I put this right here in the corner of my screen. And when you open up Ahorn, you will see almost nothing. And so you can enter your first room. I've done a little bit of prep work here so far. So this green tile set that you see in the background are just background tiles. They're just a little bit of paint in the back, but we find it very easy to be able to start with this. It's going to look a little rough to begin with, but we'll show a polished level with all the shine to it later.
Yep.
But this really helps us say, like, oh, Madeline's going to go as far as this green line.
Yeah.
She can jump up to this blue dot, maybe. So that helps us out a lot. And these green bars are screen size. So all the way over on the left until all the way on the right, you can see everything in between there.
Yeah.
All at once on your screen, on the 16:9 screen, which is a little bit different from Mario. But with the way that Madeline's vertical is compared to Mario and her long jump, it's actually pretty close, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, so visibility is something that's really important. You want your player to be able to see the tricks that are coming up to an extent, but something that we are not using here that is common in Celeste are binoculars.
Nope.
No binoculars here.
No binos in Mario, no binos here.
Definitely something we've gotten a little flack about was just like, I can't see what's coming up. But that's the joy of Kaizo. You figure it out as you go along. There's nothing as thrilling as getting to a new part in a Kaizo level and not knowing what's going on, and then being like, oh, I gotta do this next. It's a process of discovery that I think is really unique to Kaizo that works here.
Yeah. We've had some really fantastic playtesters out and about helping us out with this and giving us a lot of great feedback. And we get playtesters from both Celeste and Mario Kaizo. And we've trying to find the happy medium between those.
Yeah, we have a good amount of the playtesters here in the chat, so shout outs to all of our wonderful playtesters who have been giving us feedback. The feedback loop is really important too, because there are sometimes things that we're like, oh, this is really sick, and our playtesters are like, I have no heckin' idea what I'm supposed to do here, please make it clearer, and stuff like that. So we're really grateful for our playtesting team that's helped us make all of our levels that much better.
Yeah. So, how do I play the level? We put a Madeline in here. We have our little...
Hi, Maddie.
We have our mountain climber. And so we can just enter the level. And here she is. Yeah,
what's really amazing about Everest is that once you save in Ahorn, as long as you're loading the level in Everest, you can playtest it immediately. It's not like you have to build a bunch of stuff in Ahorn, close Ahorn, open Celeste. It makes it very easy to make an edit, test it out. Make an edit, test it out.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So let's talk a little bit about the vocabulary of what we're going to be talking about here, and then we can get going. So our Madeline here, this is our player sprite. I don't know, honestly, what happens when you put multiple of them into a stream, but I don't know if this is the stream to figure that out. But she is what is called an entity. Anything that you can either control or interact with. Almost anything with an animation, essentially, is going to be an entity. So those are going to be your dream blocks, your dash blocks, the traffic blocks, NPCs, strawberries, crystal hearts, all of those are entities. Our grid is made out of background tiles. They are purely there to look pretty, and right now they are just being used to help us out with seeing the whole level. And these city girders up here that we can actually walk on are foreground tiles. So anything that's a foreground tile has a little bit different drawing and is a wall, it's a ceiling, it's a floor, it's a full stop. We can't do anything about it. There are some more things to make it pretty, which are called decals. These are, again, almost all of them are just there to look pretty. We have a kitty as well. Hello, Sirius. Sirius is our #1 supporter as we make our levels. And we also have triggers, which I don't think we're going to play with too much, but this is game assisting stuff. This is if you need to extend your camera a little bit, if you want to change your music, if you want to add some sort of visual effect, those are going to be your triggers. But we're not going to play around with those too much today. We are mostly going to be playing with our foreground tiles. And since this is Secret City, I think we're just going to stick with the girder shape for now.
I think we're kind of sticking with the city vibe right now. Of course, it's not very important because at the end we do all the aesthetic stuff. We always want to focus on the gameplay first.
Yeah.
We want to lock down the gameplay and then worry about the aesthetics.
Yeah, if you go in and you make the prettiest level in the world and you give it to your playtesters and they have notes, you could be having to move hundreds of tiny little assets back and forth. So we want to try and minimize that until we lock down how well it plays. And then we're also going to be playing with our entities, which means we're going to have to be putting in a lot of seekers.
Yes.
I'm excited. A lot of seekers. We'll put in some spikes, definitely, but we tend to find, again, just trying to minimize the amount of stuff that we have to move around to put in spikes later. Sometimes we'll put in sort of like placeholder. This shape is going to be a spike or whatever.
Right.
But we have Celeste over here. We have Mario over here. Let's make Celeste into Mario.
Yeah, so the very first trick in this is you just have to run and jump right off this chunk. It's going to run straight at you. So we want to have the concept of imminent danger without you just being totally destroyed like that. This isn't as fun in Celeste as it is in Mario. Because when you die in Mario, the message block comes up and you get to think about your sins. Here, you kind of just die.
No, I kind of got it. It's
okay, but...
Something that you do have to consider as a Celeste mapmaker that you don't really have to in Mario is something called death cycles. The way that you saw that animation when Madeline first walks in, the game is still running. Everything on a cycle is going, whether or not it's on screen. And so when you restart the room, the time that it takes you to get there the second time is going to be a little bit different. And so you kind of have to learn some other strategies. So I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen here if I retry, which means that we're going to see that entrance animation again. Restart chapter. We're going to walk right in.
Time to move.
I tried to jump. I was just mashing jump there, and we didn't have any sort of control over Madeline. So we want to make sure that the Seeker can get at us quickly, but not without us doing a move first.
Okay, so the nice thing about Seekers is that if there's a barrier in front of you, including a Seeker barrier or any other kind of object, it can't see through it. So what we're thinking is you get to choose the moment of peril. So let's put a door here and a button. So you are gonna think about what's gonna happen when you open the door, but you get to choose when it occurs instead of you just getting totally decked right from the get-go. You see what's about to happen, but you have the choice when it happens.
That's right. So you see me just plot these things in right now. I've learned the names of a lot of these things. Some of them are less intuitive than you may imagine now. Obviously, Kevin is just Kevin. We all have decided he's called Kevin. Dream blocks, you may know them as galaxy rectangles. Here they are known as Space Jam. So you just gotta get used to the language that Ahorn uses. But here's our gate, here's our button. So if you see me using the search bar down at the bottom, that's just me learning the names to make this go a little bit faster. But if we just go in, Control S, back, and we are relatively safe. We are currently safe.
Yes. So you see a cause and effect here. So the Seeker, again, can't see through the door. But the second you open the door...
And if I restart now, again, the Seeker just can't see us. Now,
Bam! So I think that has the same effect of, once you make the door go, you gotta go. But you're not just gonna get instantly barreled by the Seeker. I think it also kind of has a funny standoff, like, oh, Madeline stare at Seeker, Seeker stare at Madeline.
Right.
What do we do now?
There is only one option, and you may not like it, but it is the option that you have.
Alright, so first thing, the problem is, we don't want this Seeker to be chasing us throughout the entire city. Because that could get really messy. So we're going to employ a smart little tool called a Seeker Barrier. That's going to stop our Seeker once we kind of get to a period of safety.
Yeah, so our Chuck friend just runs at us and gets confused.
Correct.
Right? And we go above. I love this art.
You hit him, and then you bounce up to the next Seeker who's sitting on the muncher.
Okay.
For us, we can't really make Seekers stay in place like that.
You can't really make them stay in place, and they also don't really give you that much height.
Yeah.
They do give you your dash back.
Which is nice.
Which is very kind of them. And we can explode off of it too, but that's asking a lot for our first trick, I think. I think just sort of like this joke of having to get out of the way of the Seeker is good enough.
I think so. I think this can be just kind of a dodge action, and then we can move to trick 2.
So let me pull up my rectangles here. I usually just like to block things out in rectangles and go down to my girder shape.
Yeah.
And there.
Yeah. Yeah, what Comet is saying is true. If you put Seekers entirely inside of a Seeker Barrier, they will be stuck there and not move.
Boy, are we ahead of you on that.
But I think we're going to save that for a little bit later. This first trick, I think we're just going to have be a dodge, and then move on to trick 2. We also kind of think about, as we're designing levels, going from trick to trick. That's just kind of what we, design for. That's pretty nice.
That's fun.
So you have to just basically do a wall bounce out of there, or if you're more adventurous, you can jump on the Seeker and use that to get you up. Of course, there are going to be spikes on this right wall, because otherwise you would just be able to kind of climb up it. But we'll add those spikes in later. Again, we usually don't add in all the obstacles until we're completely happy with the trick. I think maybe, does it need to be a little closer to Maddie, or we want to put a jump through there? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, so I'm changing the difference between if I just wall bounce from the ground, and if I jump wall bounce. I think I like the movement of the jump wall bounce a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we've already used the shorthand, and Vanilla Celeste uses the shorthand too, of having a little bit of the wall stick out.
Yeah.
That's wall bounceable. Because then we can just put spikes across everything, and there's safety here. It's a really nice shorthand to just say, hey, remember, this is safe.
Yeah.
We're not trying to hide anything from you.
Yep.
We're not trying to be unfair at all. So, because this also means that this is a little bit more perilous, and this is a little bit further away, that you have to play chicken with that Seeker.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's also one of those things talking about indicators and indication. That's a thing much more commonly seen in Mario ROM hacks than in Celeste custom maps that we employ here. We'll see at the end of the showcase, we're going to show off a few completed levels. We have put in indicators for our players to use. And so we've taught them that along the way. This is a seaside. So by the time you get to the seaside, you've seen how we indicate and put together levels. That's going to be a pretty obvious. You can wall bounce here to get up. Or you can use the Seeker. Who knows? Either way.
Yeah. So, I know that in the Mario level here, this is not safety. But I think this should be safety.
I agree. I'm happy with that safety.
Because if we bounce up here, the Seeker's going to be coming right at us.
Yeah.
Before we even have the opportunity to try and do anything with them. But I do really like this movement of having the Chuck go down, and they have to use them, and you go up. And I think we can make that feeling, that sort of gameplay, similar, even if the movement isn't exact.
Sure. So yeah, and especially in seasides, it's like we don't like to have a ton of floor. We're gonna have this one floor here for this kind of opening trick, and then figuring out what do we want to do next to get across this huge gap. Yeah, let's test out this opening. Oh, Madeline be stuck.
She be stuck.
So yeah, I like that. It seems pretty. It seems even tighter now to get that dodge, which is nice.
Yeah.
There's always the backup of bonking the Seeker and getting up. Cool. What are we feeling for the second trick?
Number 1, Seeker.
Seeker. We need a Seeker. Okay, understood.
Let's not get it twisted.
Seeker.
We need Seeker.
Yeah, of course. This isn't called Seeker City for nothing.
No.
So this one we kind of get you have to bonk on its head. So here I think we want to force the bonk.
Yeah. So wherever we can control the bonk, I think we should again be able to just stand here and think about our life for a little bit.
I think
before
so.
we go up here, and go.
Ooh. Okay. All right. So you can bonk on it, make it go down. That's kind of helpful.
It's a little toll. Let's move you down a teensy tiny little bit here.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to do something that we forgot to talk about before, but I'm going to go into debug mode.
Oh yeah, debug mode's really cool. You want to talk about debug mode?
Yeah. So this is something that's really convenient, especially for a lot of speedrunners. If you just want to jump to different rooms and try those rooms without just having to go to the closest checkpoint and go through the level there. But a great thing about debug mode using Everest is I can press Shift and right click, and I can respawn wherever I want in the room. And then when I die and reset, I will reset at that point.
It also resets you
So
there.
we don't have to go back and play the whole level up into the trick that we're trying to workshop. We can place ourselves just at that trick, which is really convenient. So I'm going to set us up here. Bonk.
So you bonk the Seeker.
He goes like all the way down.
He was pretty far down, and you don't really have enough time to jump off him again, which is kind of what we want. Like, you can. You can explode. You can explode off the Seeker. That's kind of nice.
But if I want to go around something, I don't know if we have the time and
yeah, you wouldn't be able to go around the obstacle goal and go back, so we might want to save the explosion concept for a little later in the level, probably.
Well,
maybe.
I don't know. Maybe play around with it here.
Is there a way for us to move the Seeker somewhere where we want to be? So, like, we're able to bonk it downward, but something we like to do when we're thinking about stuff is what else can they interact with? So there's coin blocks that can move things. There's traffic blocks that can move things. How about can they move the Seeker?
That is.
And maybe
it
would set the Seeker. We could push the Seeker to the right and jump off it again.
Okay. So let's give the Seeker a tiny little bit of floor here to be able to bonk down on.
Sure.
And let's get a zip block in here.
Also, everyone is going Yahtzee, by the way.
Everyone is going Yahtzee. I don't want to be controversial here, but y'all are good and nice. Alright, so we got a traffic block. Oh, yes. It boops the Seeker. Boop?
It moves the Seeker for us. That's kind of cool.
That's pretty fun.
Seems like it's a little bit tight. We might need to move... I think we need to move the zip block of tile left, probably.
Yeah.
It's kind of precise to position it in that gap, but I like the concept. Yeah, because sometimes we don't want it to get stuck on top.
No, we definitely don't want him to bonk. So if we can just move him over there.
Yeah, again, so this is just showing how easy it is to test things and reload them and try it again. There we go. Nice. That's cool. Bam. And that gets you a good amount of distance.
That gets you a good amount of distance. I gotta say, I don't know if I like this better than just using the explosion. Side. We were playing around with this earlier, and this was sort of a fun idea.
Think you just might want to explode? I don't know.
You know, because we were having trouble with it before, because we had to get around and activate this.
Right.
You know? What do you think?
But what I do like about this is that it feels pretty consistent, whereas if it was just open, and you had to bonk off the Seeker and use the explosion, it would be a lot less open. But I guess what we could do is instead of using this traffic block, we can still set it up like this. And set it up in a way that it could maybe get in a preferable position. Like, you know,
well,
using the terrain of the level in kind of a diagonal format in a way that it would push the, like, regardless of where you actually bonk the Seeker, it would kind of slide along the terrain and get set up in a good spot.
That's interesting. So there's a lot of variable sort of with where you bonk on the Seeker and where he goes. You see he went kind of left this time. If I bonk him on the left, or if I can bonk him on the left here, he kind of goes to the right.
That's the advantage, I think, of doing a setup kind of like this.
Yeah.
If you're just freeform having to bonk the Seeker into a good position, it's going to be hard. If we kind of make a funnel for you to be able to bonk the Seeker, though, I think that possibly could work.
Maybe.
But I think this setup works too.
I think this setup works too, and if we want to introduce this concept later, I don't think there's anywhere in Celeste where you use any sort of moving block. I think they only show up with their swap blocks where you dash and the block moves.
Yeah.
But that's never used to intentionally push a Seeker out of the way.
To move a Seeker, no.
So maybe we want to use this just to introduce that concept, that whether it's in fish mode or
I think that's true.
reset mode, we want to introduce this new concept.
I think so, because introducing the concept of, the traffic block moves the Seeker along with it, we can use that later on in the level. And it fits the theme. Traffic blocks are in city levels, so I think that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I think we can save the explosion idea for later.
Okay. And that's something that we didn't talk about before that maybe we should, is what am I expected to know when I open up this level? A lot of maps, if you go to their FAQ or sort of their requirements, they're like system requirements almost is where they put it, is like, what are you expected to know when you load this up? Some will be like, you need to know how to neutral, you need to know how to wave dash, how to wall bounce. A lot of high level speed tech. Some places will say you only need to, if you have beaten farewell, anything additional to that information, we will teach you.
Right.
And we wanted something with a very low floor.
Yeah.
So if you have beaten Summit A, if you have done an any percent of Celeste, you will have all the information required to play these levels.
Yeah.
You'll see us design a little bit later. I guess you already saw us designing a wall bounce, wave dashes, and hyper dashes, but we have taught you those this far.
Yeah, if you play through all our A sides and all our B sides, which is required to unlock the C sides, you're going to have been exposed to all of that tech.
So let's, make sure the Seeker can't go up.
Yeah, let's get a Seeker barrier going
which I
there.
think will help us out a little bit.
Oh. Yep, so we bonk it in there. Ooh.
Ooh.
I mean, I guess it's not the end of the world if you get the explosion.
No, it's not. Could be speedy. I think just in general, it means that this is a little too tall. Because I'm bonking on it a little bit.
And theoretically, there's going to be spikes on it.
Yeah, when you put sharp things on it, it's going to be not the best day for Madeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoop. Yeah, I don't think... I think we might just have to make the explosion be what to do. Which I think is fine. But bonking on its head is awkward.
Bonking on its head is kind of awkward.
I mean, you can make it that way. But it seems to be way better to set up just fast fall to the explosion.
Often asked, do springs move secret corpses?
I don't know.
I love asking these questions.
I don't know. It sounds fun.
It's one of my favorite things to do. Is I have a blank playground of just like, what happens when I put Seeker and Spring, like all these combinations of entities in Celeste that were never designed to be put next to each other. What happens when you do it?
Right.
And I think that's kind of where. Oh no, the answer is
no.
no.
The springs don't. That's unfortunate.
Right.
Dang. Because that would have been really nice, obviously.
Right. If you've played Farewell and you've seen how the pufferfish kind of bounce when you hit a spring, that sort of physics wasn't built into these seekers here. As a smart idea, so what does happen if I just don't jump on the traffic block? I kind of bonk.
Right. We need the traffic block to activate, of course.
Right. Well, you know, kind of going back to that funnel idea. You know what I mean?
Why not that? Like, you just have the funnel, you have to left dash into the explosion, and go. That way you don't have to use the I think the traffic block just makes the concept is there, but it makes it really awkward. So instead, we can make this funnel concept, and then have an indicator, you know, dash here now. Mm-hmm. Like, dash left, and then you get exploded like that. I think that's pretty cool.
Okay, so...
And the funnel will ensure the seeker's always going to end up here.
Okay.
So why don't we just make that a wall? And there's like a down arrow, you know.
Right.
I like the dash back to the explosion too. I think that doesn't teach the traffic block thing, but I think we can do that later.
So it's tough to set up the timing here on because you see me taking a little bit different explosions every time too, right?
Yeah.
So again, these levels are long, and we don't want it to be frustratingly difficult. What happens if we have sort of like a launch platform for Madeline here? And so you don't have to worry about killing time. Just if you set this guy up in the right spot, oops, and then just walk straight off the edge. No.
I don't think I like that.
No, you're right.
It's too easy now. I think a bit of the puzzle is figuring out the timing.
All right.
And again, we're gonna mess around with the movement, with the setup, but I think this is cool. I think this is neat. The concept of you need to hit the seeker into a spot you want it to, and then you're set up to use the explosion to your own advantage. I think that's cool.
Okay.
We wanna replace that zipper with a wall now.
Yeah, so
let's do it.
Make this a wall.
And comment suggests maybe making the wall to the right of the seeker a little bit taller might help with positioning.
The wall to be this guy?
Yeah, maybe. Something to mess around with.
We're getting some Felfax up in here.
Yes.
Probably make this taller than even. Yeah. Oh!
I don't know what happened there. Yeah.
So I'm still standing a little bit, if you notice.
We can just move it lower.
Move the floor lower.
We can move the floor a little bit lower. Then you have to fall farther. Like, let's just take one tile out from the floor.
Okay.
Because you keep getting there early.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Because we saw that earlier, the Seeker Friendo went all the way down to the floor.
Yeah, it can go all the way down there, but we kind of wanted to just, boop. Oh, it slammed it. But that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a little bit of variance here. That's okay.
So we also are going to have to put spinners all the way
for sure
through there, which means that I can't like dash into the Seeker.
Mm-hmm. Well, we could lower this now.
Well, yeah, but how's that gonna?
I think maybe it went a little too low. We can put it a little higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what happens if we do?
That's what I'm saying. Like an actual funnel. Will it get stuck? Or will it help? I don't know.
I think it will get stuck because rectangles, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, it gets stuck.
Okay. Okay. We're workshopping this out.
Seeker be getting stuck.
We're doing this live.
But listen,
ask a lot of questions.
This is realistic to how map making works. We just kind of fiddle around with stuff and hope for the best. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we could have a refill.
Up dash into refill, so we have a dash left into the Seeker. Honestly, Slips and Celeste win.
Flips and Celeste would be epic. Come on.
We actually had a level in Quickie World that we cut and replaced with something else. Because the most interesting movement was that Mario sort of slope.
I kind of like that. I think like you stall a little bit and you go. That kind of lines up. But what else we could require? Instead of an up dash, you have to like dodge something over here.
To dodge something over here.
I don't know. You could have to like do something. You could have to like fall a little bit to the right and then dash left. Something like that. Celeste Maker 2, honestly.
Right, so we
this kind of lines up though. This is nice.
This lines up. I'm getting more consistency from it. I think this is good enough.
I think so too.
To keep moving and push out to our playtesters and see how much they hate it and see what kind of feedback they have once they have that sort of
playtesters in the chat. Do you hate this?
Yes.
Poll yes or no. We're moving into seaside territory, which, means maybe a little jank, and that's okay.
So we're going...
This is getting more consistent.
It's getting more consistent, and it looks like we are getting to roughly here with the explosion, you know?
Yep.
So that's kind of the other question is, how far can we go with this explosion? So... You can't stand on this block for long in Mario, can you?
No, that's a fall block. So I feel like let's definitely make that a crumble block.
Crumble block? Crumble. And now
oh, and look! It's a baseball chuck! Oh boy!
Alright. So, this is where we pull up the Seeker.
Yeah, it's true. It depends on if you boost with the explosion.
That's right. But
Bean is really good at always boosting with the explosion, so he needs to try not to do that. Because I do not always boost with the explosion. Right. Okay, with your dash you make it, though.
Right. With the boost, you can make it all the way to that green line.
That's cool. Like, obviously the speed strat is to take the boost. Mm-hmm. Charles, yes. Yeah, so without the boost, you can make it. I think it might need to be a teeny bit closer,
mm-hmm. though. Let's move it a teeny bit closer.
Yeah.
One down.
Okay,
just
I like
the
that.
way that arcs work.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm an engineer. Not a mechanical engineer. I haven't done those types of problems in so long I don't even remember what they're called. Kinematics?
Kinematics. Alright, and obviously we also need a secret barrier down below so we don't keep getting launched by this bro right here.
I think we should put it after the crumble block.
Really? Oh, so you have to dodge it?
I don't think it's going to be a problem because of how fast it shoots you. I think it will just give you a small heart attack. Okay,
I'm in! Okay, I'm in.
So let's put
after the pipe can be the secret barrier.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
Let's get some green grass in here.
I'm kinder to the player. Bean's always the one that's like, no, there should be a spike here. No, they shouldn't be able to save that.
Really throwing me under the bus in front of our playtesters, huh?
But it's good. It's in the spirit of Kaizo. I'm a baby. Oh. See, Amy appreciates you. I'm not throwing you under the bus. I'm singing your praises.
So let's put some sharp objects on top there.
Pranks.
Yeah, we'll show you a little bit later. But if you know, you know. That fake heart was 100% my idea.
Oh no!
Flygon also got by it.
Yeah,
when I showed her first time. Okay, let's get some more rectangles up in here.
Yeah, so now we've got another seeker throwing snowballs at us. We're not gonna make it snowballs. The problem with snowballs is that they cover the course of the entire room once they start to activate. So it's not like we could just do snowballs in this one little patch, because otherwise I think that would be perfect as an analog to the baseballs, but you can't start them in the middle of the room and stop them. So we can't really use baseballs here. But look, we've got a little trapped seeker friend.
Right, I like this thing that happens with Seekers. And we should just play around with this because I think it's very funny. In Celeste, and you saw before, Seeker hits a barrier, it's a wall, it kind of bonks its head a little bit, gets disoriented, and then gives up if it doesn't see you anymore. We can walk straight through. What the game developers never did was put those barriers on top of a Seeker in a level, so they never designed any sort of condition on what happens when you do that. And so what ends up happening is the Seeker is essentially blind to you. We can stand right here, and he is our friend. He's just our little pet Seeker, and it will not harm us in any way. Unless we still touch his tentacles.
I'm gonna call this Seeker serious.
Yeah. So let me debug over to here now.
We at least tried to in Quickie Mountain 1, but we couldn't figure out a way how to make the snowballs stop once you started them.
Yeah, there is a snowball trigger, but there's not a stop snowball trigger. That is
the end of the room just has a window of time where you won't get snowballed anymore. So if you think of the first level, the first room of Quickie Mountain 1, it just ends after you get to that. We made it so you're safe once you get to the checkpoint.
So, let me...
We already had... Yeah, we had a serious cameo. He literally climbed on my lap. I didn't even try. But he might come back. Who knows?
So let me show off some neat stuff that we found out here. Just to showcase what you can do is that if you push the Seeker out in any way...
Seeker is free!
He is free and angry again.
Sirius has been freed!
And you can also do the opposite, where you can take a freed Seeker and trap them. Yeah,
this is really cool. Like, I never thought about this. You can basically push the Seeker.
They're very angry. And they'll go back to 0, or not.
Oh, there you go.
And now they are in here.
So now the Seeker is trapped in a barrier and it won't move. How interesting. Like, that is such a interesting concept that we wanted to mess around with when we were kind of, doing an outline of what we wanted to design, and we were thinking, how are some different things that things can react? We found out that you can push the traffic blocks and it'll push the Seekers, and you can also push the traffic blocks that push the Seekers in and out of barriers. That's never really been explored before, and I think that's really cool. Kind of jank, but also kind of cool.
So I think I really like this visual aesthetic matching this.
Same.
And also this Seeker having no gameplay purpose.
Sure.
Other than to show the player, in case they've never seen it before, this guy is not going to hurt you because he's in the barrier.
I think that's cool. It's a cool visual, and it's a cool, what?
I think it's an important thing
I definitely agree.
The player to kind of see there.
But the thing is, this is a seaside. There still should be something perilous here. We're not going to just be able to daintily walk across this, right?
Sharp.
Ooh.
Sharp.
So instead of snowball, spinner.
Yeah.
Well, not spinner. I don't know what these things are called.
Blade.
Blade.
So even if we could get the snowball to start and stop, I like that the baseballs are always just being thrown straight forward.
Just chucking at you.
Where the snowball would kind of follow you on your Y position there.
Yeah.
So this kind of gives to me the same sort of idea of there's a little bit of danger.
Yeah, and the thing is, there are going to be spikes on that green patch. Those are munchers in the level. You're going to have to, you can stare at this Seeker, but you got to deal with this blade happening.
He's a little speedy.
Yeah, if it's going to be slow, there needs to be more of them. That's too easy. Oh, that's way too easy.
Alright, we'll go back to normal. Fast is super fast, but has a pause in the middle, so I think it would actually end up being easier.
That new emote gets me every time. Oh,
Comet says fastest.
Yeah, let's check out
fastest. Let's go fast. I actually think this is going to be a little bit easier.
Yeah, see, so it goes fast, but then stops, which I think is less interesting, which is actually... I like the concept. But yeah, just in terms of demonstration purposes, that's what it looks like on fastest. I like this as an analog for the baseball.
Okay, so let's move it to to normal.
Yeah, I think normal is the best case scenario here.
And we can play around with this cycle later.
Right.
Again, the way that Mario loads up is that entities can load from a certain distance once you get to them. That's why you can respawn, shells and stuff in Mario if you just walk away and come back. Everything is always running here in Celeste.
Yeah.
So it's going to depend a little bit on the player of how long do I stand here, staring off with this Seeker until I bonk on it and get over here. But in general, we want to make sure that the blade isn't going to consistently be in a safe spot, Instead, we can just kind of land it and jump.
Right.
But we don't want it to be exactly where we need to be every time. So we can play around with that timing a little bit later.
Cycle stuff is generally what we do last. Is let's play it a bunch of times on entry cycle. Let's play it a bunch of times on death cycle and try and figure out a happy medium. Because we don't, in terms of casual players, we don't want it to be horribly punishing either the first or the repeated times. And in terms of speedrunning, we also want it to be doable as fast as possible on those cycles. Just to be nice to the speedrunners who will hopefully speedrun this sometime.
So I see a note on your map.
Yeah.
That reads Jank Jump.
Jank Jump. Yep. So, some nonsense I came up with. Going back to the traffic block thing that we were talking about earlier. So, moving forward in the Mario level. So what do we have to do here? We have to bounce off of a Seeker and have it fling us to the right. And you have to jump on it like a few times in the level because there's a moving cycle. But again, as we talked about with the respawns, we're not going to super do that. But what I'm thinking we want to use the explosion again. The explosion's fun. Explosion's cool. Let's utilize the fact that we can push the Seekers on the traffic blocks.
Okay.
To kind of to force the Seeker to move up and then explode us to the right. That sounds fun. How are we going to make this sure the Seeker doesn't kill us? We can use our Seeker trap again.
So the Seeker's always in position. They're always there.
Seeker's always going to be there, which is great. So how about you bonk the Seeker, and then you travel up with it and explode off of it. That sounds kind of fun.
So bonking on the Seeker gives me my dash back. Does the explosion give me my dash back?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's that. I think it should go way higher.
Oh, yeah?
Like, really high. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, look how high Mario's in the air. Whee! Yes.
Okay. So we've intentionally made the level only one, I'm going to call it screen tall.
Yeah.
We usually describe load screens in Celeste as rooms. But this is one screen tall. So if you go to the bottom of the screen or the top of the screen, you can see all of that at the same time. That just helps us know where the Seeker is. We just have to worry about the left and right there.
Right. And so what I'm thinking is, so theoretically you can activate it on the top once you've, saved the Seeker. You can just stand on top and then get exploded like that. That seems kind of easy.
That seems pretty easy.
I think you should have to grab onto the side of it.
Oh, so it's sharp on top.
It's sharp on top.
It's sharp on top.
Yep, so you have to go like that.
Oops. And then you miss the grab.
Yeah, so
that's part of it.
Bonk
Right?
the Seeker. Do that. So that's the only problem. You can't. I don't really know how to fix that problem. Is you like flinging up when you grab on the side of it? That's the only problem.
So I'm jumping at the moment. Maybe if I don't jump.
Yeah, but then you're climbing on top of it. When we tested this earlier, we didn't have this problem.
No. It was a little bit different setup, and I'm just executing the current thing for you. The traffic block could be a little bit taller. So I don't think it should be this tall. So that you aren't trying to be in the air for the explosion.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the air here.
And still take the momentum.
Yeah,
you don't want both of those things.
No.
So let's move it to midway of the screen here to make you
a little bit longer and make the grab a little easier.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, whee is the concept. Yeah, that's what we want. I think, yeah, the problem was maybe it was just taking too long.
Trying to find that medium between time that you can control and time that the game.
Yeah, because the traffic block has to stop before you do the
right.
climb.
Traffic block goes on without
you.
Seeker goes on.
Then
without
you do a little climb jump and get the explosion.
Okay, I think that's some good time.
I like that. Is it jank? Yes.
Yes.
Is it kind of cool? I think so.
I think so. So we are going to traffic in our notes here. Instead of trying to get something on a cycle with all this too, taking that explosion is going to be so far away, we're barely going to be able to see it on screen. So if it's just a traffic block that we can control where it starts at least, but it is not there for long, that is convenient. So we have our little zip mover again. Move you. That one?
A little smaller. Yeah, that.
Okay. And let's just sort of focus on getting...
Yeah, where's it gonna be?
Getting the start position correctly, and then we can kind of play around with that trick, because this was way close.
Woo!
Oh man, that was...
We can zoom way farther than that.
Man, I got a huge blast off of that, where I didn't really expect to. Oops.
I mean, you could just set the respawn point on that other block. Whoa! Hi, Seeker.
So... let's move it a little bit further. How do we like the Y position of it?
I think it's okay. I think it's okay.
Because I was able to make it there without...
I'll just set your respawn point here.
Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah, without the dash. With the dash, you can go a little bit further, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that I'm doing it without.
I don't think you're getting the boost here. Yeah.
Because if you get the boost, then it's super saveable. Whoops. Let's jump in. Yeah.
What? Seeker.
Hello, friend. Okay, so we should put a barrier somewhere.
Somewhere.
Seeker.
Aw, thanks, Carrie.
Thanks, Carrie.
We're just trying to do some interesting, like, you have to use the chucks here is the gimmick of the level, when typically in Mario you just have to avoid the chucks. So we're trying to embody that here. You have to use the Seekers to get through the level instead of just avoiding them. Like, they're the platforming part of this level. And I think we've come up with some silly ways to do that. And a little bit of it is obviously going to be figuring out what to do. You all know what to do because you're here. But I think there might be a little bit of frustration of like, this is kind of weird and doesn't make a ton of sense. But also it's a seaside, and I think that's part of figuring out what to do. So yeah, I think we have a little leniency in the seasides of just like, it's supposed to be kind of hard and puzzly. A little bit.
Yeah.
Why football, man? An eyeball monster? Honestly.
Okay.
So honestly, we all know the seasides are also kind of nonsensical in the real game.
Yeah, Flygon was playing an all seasides run the other day and having to jump off of Oshiro intended, having to grab onto something that's just one tile wide.
We can have a little nonsensical room
makes
here.
me feel a little bit better as we intentionally break the game for funsies.
Yeah. I think this should all be spinners.
This whole thing will be spinners? You're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna make it snow for now.
Sure.
And that will be my shorthand to replace that with spinners later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then you get the
taller. Should it go? I don't know if it can go further away.
I think you maybe should have to like you activate it and have to like right dash maybe. It just seems kind of lenient at this point. that feels better. I don't know how to like force that,
Right.
but
That movement that I did right there. Let me set another respawn point now at the top of this.
yeah,
So I go here. You just want that?
yeah,
Sort of deal?
yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be spinners, of course. So
Right.
it's just gonna have to be shorter.
So we can make it. I will minimize. Make it a teeny bit shorter. And also spinner up top.
Yeah, because look, that's like basically like it's really tight in the Mario level.
Yeah,
Here?
this sort of vibe.
Yeah. So I think, you know, this. And then you have to do like a hyper off the end of the traffic block.
Oh no.
Oh no,
I'm
Maddie.
sorry, Maddie.
Oh, Maddie.
I'm so
Maddie,
sorry
be
I've done
stuck.
this to you.
Something like that.
Oh my goodness. You know, essentially you have to take no momentum off of it.
Right. It's kind of awkward.
And then you just have to go.
Yeah.
Where do we go?
I don't know what we're doing next. What are we doing next?
So we got this stuff here. We're coming up on the H. That's as far as I think we want to go in terms of level design. And then we'll go back and we'll try and polish this up, kind of make it look pretty, and make it sharp, make it very pointy.
Make it sharp. So what you have to do here is you have to go up onto the crumble block and bait the Seeker into meeting you and jumping off of its head. So trying to think about how to do that.
Level that we're basing it off of is Truck City, Garby.
Yeah,
And
this is Truck City from one.
Quickie one?
One.
Quickie one.
Yeah,
I've never played Mario.
do 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 do. That jamming. That track, which I love. It's a really bopping level.
I'd make a joke about, you know, how you only know levels by their music, but a majority of the level names in Quickie World are just the names of the tracks.
I know, right?
It's Take 5, it's Happy Birthday.
That song's an absolute cat jam. It's really good. And Bean's been composing all of the music for this, which is really cool, and a lot of times it's remixes of the tracks that are used in the actual level, which we'll show off. At the end of the showcase, we're going to show off some of the completed levels.
Yeah, so when we made Quickie 1, we did it for the ECZ Game Jam, the Glitches Are Queer Game Jam, back in June, I want to say it was. And that was really fun, and we learned a lot. And almost immediately, like, we had learned so much where I was like, I want to go back and I want to fix all these things. You know, we submitted it, and all our friends played it, and that was awesome. It was like, I want to fix all these things. And Flygon says, no, like, we did it, we submitted it, we should move on. It's like, no, I want to fix them. And she said, well, what if we made a whole other game that was the same, but more? And I said, okay, I will make an hour of music for that.
Yep.
Instead of fixing 2
And
levels,
we're here now.
what if we made 15?
Yeah.
And you go, oh. Okay.
I think I want to do something different here instead of this.
Yeah,
I don't want to do this again.
It's very short.
Yeah, I don't want to do this again.
Okay.
I think some sort of way, again, like, I don't know how we need to get up. We still need to get up. I'm not quite sure how to do that.
So
but then we need
to... Up to be? Should up be just
up
here?
can be like there. I don't know how to get up there yet, but the concept is, you know, you do this, you get up here. Yeah. I think you should just have to... There's a Seeker, and you gotta bonk off it to victory. I'm still not sold on that either, but, like, it's fine.
On this?
Yes.
Well, let's keep workshopping this then, because how we exit this trick, whatever this trick is going to be, is going to define how we enter the next one.
Yeah, so what I think might have to happen is I think this might need to be lower, and so then the Seeker barrier is kind of fairly high up the screen. But once you get up here, the Seeker can, like, see you.
So...
Or I guess the Seeker Barrier could be all the way here and it's a freestanding Seeker and you just extended hyper bonk off it to victory.
This... Let's again just sort of like focus on this trick.
Yeah.
You know? Because if we don't like this, let's make it something that we do like and sort of forget what comes after it first.
Yeah.
You know? Because here's an idea. Instead of just doing this and having some weird momentum stuff, I like how this kind of curls around.
I do
Mario.
too.
What if the traffic block was 2 traffic blocks?
Okay.
And they are just freestanding platforms, but once you stand on them, they go to here.
Okay.
So kind of...
Oh, that's kind of cool. So they're like faster crumble blocks.
They're faster, a little bit more aesthetic crumble blocks.
I like that way better. And you have to really quick. I mean, that's also the concept of what you have to do here. Like, you're jumping off, you have to jump off that winged platform at such an interesting angle.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what you have to do here.
I think that will also give us a little bit of chance to move this down.
Yeah.
Without changing. Oh my goodness.
Maddie,
I'm so
stuck.
sorry. Without changing.
Yeah, I think you need to go backwards and test this, not from the middle.
Okay.
The middle just doesn't make sense to test it.
Well,
let's try it from here.
Okay. Because we'll be coming in with no momentum, right?
Right. I just want, yeah.
Okay.
Frig.
Right. There's possibilities of me failing this trick.
I know, but it's more accurate to see how we're gonna come into this one. That's the thing. It's easy to do from there, but from the Seeker, it's not quite as easy.
Well, no, because I moved this as well.
Yeah.
And maybe that was a bad call because now. Oh, I guess this is also further away. That shouldn't be further away. They should be
equidistant. Yeah. Maybe that was it. It was just that they were not equidistant. Nice. That's.
Yeah.
We'll workshop it. It's there now. I think this is definitely
that's a better idea.
I really like that. How it looks and how that feels.
So I'm just gonna stand here.
Yeah.
If we want to end up over here, how do we get there in an interesting way? Or even just like make it clear this is
where you need to go
to set up the next trick.
I mean, you could just like put an indicator up there. I don't hate the jumping off of that.
No, you don't.
I don't think there's anything we could do to make this better. It's just a tight wraparound jump.
Okay.
That's all it is in the level 2. It's just a tight heckin' jump. Yeah. I think putting ice on there would be funny.
On the very edge?
Yes.
Okay. We're also gonna have to play with because right now I would definitely get blocked by spikes if I didn't grab.
Yes.
You know, so maybe we can just not put spikes on the very bottom of it.
Yeah, we'll see. But like, I think that's fine. Okay. It's just a tight maneuvering around.
Okie doke. So now that we're kind of happier, we're set up. We know this is where we want to end up. To start the next trick. So now we live here.
We live here. I think the concept is there's a Seeker and you have to like extended hyper or just hyper, I guess, and bonk on the fish to get over. Because that's exactly what you're just jumping off the chuck at the right time. Yeah. Something we haven't talked about yet is camera. camera is also something we do at the end. Because it's like, are we going to actually be able to see all these tricks, be able to see all these seekers?
Seeker.
And that's something we usually mess with at the end, is a lot of camera manipulation to make sure you can see everything that you need to see on the screen.
My question is, when does the Seeker see us?
That's a good question. Not yet.
Not yet.
That's good.
I think it's because the Seeker's off screen.
Okay.
And I would want to. Why don't we showcase this right now?
Yeah, just showcase the camera movement.
Yeah, because I want to increase the camera offset a little bit anyway, so I'm going to put camera offset trigger right here. So anytime I enter this red box now, you won't see this in the level, but every time that you enter this red box, whatever is set to happen will happen, which means that our X camera is going to increase from 1.5, I think I had it set to like, let's just try it at 2. Let me double check that though. So it may go, woo! No, it's just set to 1, so let's set it to 1.5. And there's a metric that is set there, I am sure.
Hi, Seeker.
But I don't remember the metric.
Yeah, now the Seeker can see you.
At this point. Right. So you can kind of see a tiny little bit of camera jerk there as I jump up there.
Camera.
Yeah. So we'll certainly clean that up in the future.
Can you try to just hyper up on it? Like, what happens if you just... Choom! That's kind of sick.
Chat?
Any
thoughts?
I mean, you can't see the Seeker, so it's definitely hard to...
Well, yeah, but I mean, we can fix the camera even more. We can move where the Seeker is. If this is
I like this a lot.
And cool movement, we can make this...
I like it. You just gotta go. What if there's just a bird? The bird... Woo!
Yeah.
Just hyper. Just hyper and believe.
So let's increase this by just so many.
Yeah.
Number 1. So, okay. Before we get too attached to this, where are we trying to get over? Should this be super duper high?
I think it should be fairly high. And you just have to up dash to victory. You might try moving the Seeker start position down a little bit to make it less tight on the angle. Yeah, I think that's a good call. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we should require an extension. I was just thinking like you just literally hyper and land on it.
Right. So, I get the ideal movement, but the reason that I want to ask about where's the obstacle that we're trying to overcome is what happens when you do non-ideal movement.
Right.
You know, can I... What else can I do? And what else should we put in here?
Right.
So, like, here's our city girder. Should it be all the way up?
No.
As high as it is in the level?
But fairly high to the point, like, you definitely have to use the Seeker. It's just you and the Seeker.
Okay, so I'm going to turn on invincibility real quick so that, my goodness, you drama queen. I just want to block the Seeker. Block the Seeker, thank you. So that I can try this.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's far enough away.
Right. Nice. Can you try it with just a hyper? You're extending. Can you...
but I'm not using the extension.
Sure. but can you just try it without? Like, it changes how you move.
Like, without jumping?
Yeah, there you go.
At the beginning. Yeah. Okay. Because either way, the Seeker's coming to meet me.
Yeah.
And I'm just holding the jump button the whole time, which is why I'm
Can
getting
you,
so much.
Right, like, I like that you can just do it with hyper. Can I try it a little bit?
Mm-hmm. Oh no. Oh no.
How did you make that?
I do not know.
Frick. Okay. Like if you just stand on the edge and do a hyper. And you hold jump, it works. So that's good. Yeah, you can make it.
So we can make it further away. Right?
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, before we get so attached to this.
Yeah.
Is that I don't want this to be the only solution. Do you agree with that or not?
I don't know.
Because I think this is very unintuitive, and we haven't given the player any chance to just stand and see what's going to happen.
Okay.
We've just thrown them into the fire, and if they're...
Well, what I think we can do is, I mean, have the Seeker be at a fixed point then.
Have a Seeker... So just, like, put it in the barrier.
The Seeker's just in the same spot. So there's not Seeker variants.
The Seeker doesn't come and attack you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you have to do this movement, but the Seeker's always going to be in the same spot.
Okay. So
I don't think it has to even be in a barrier. I think it just can't see you until you get to it, maybe. But also, it's sitting in a barrier is probably fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do this.
You know, like it just can't see you until you get to it.
So the trick is wave dashing and taking all of that momentum off of the Seeker.
And take a right dash into the Seeker. Yeah.
Just like taking momentum off the Seeker is the trick.
I think so.
Okay.
I think this makes more sense.
Okay.
Yeah, like this. It's not going to do anything. Yeah.
So we can place you here now.
It's not as cool, but it's more consistent.
It's more consistent. Like there's a lot of ebb and flow, you know, where like you do the first trick and then you just stand and you can think about your life for a little bit because this is going to be more complex movement.
Yeah.
And then once you get to the traffic block, you're being chased by a Seeker, all that. That is very much go, 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 go. I think this is a time to take a breath again and think about this.
Yeah, I agree.
This complex movement.
I agree. What we were doing before wouldn't have worked. This is kind of good. I think now the Seeker needs to be... The barrier needs to be farther to the right now. Not the barrier, the wall.
This.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the problem is then it would maybe be off screen.
We can certainly just move the camera.
Yeah, I think we can just shorten this and scoot everything a little bit too.
Well, if we shorten this, then this is easier to get to.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, so we instead of because if you move Madeline back here, you know, everything's going to move with it. Well, that's a camera problem.
Okay.
That's purely. A
that's what problem. I'm thinking too, Comet. It's so much easier though. It's just yeah. That's my problem with it. I don't think it's as cool. I think the other one was too inconsistent and didn't make sense.
I liked it, but I didn't like that it was already chaotic. Like the Seeker was already activated before you were even in safety.
Me too.
So
that's what I didn't like about it either. But also, I don't know, it's a seaside. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to confuse difficult with sort of like mean and confusing.
I agree.
You know? And
but I don't like.
that,
I think
that felt a little confusing.
So.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's a bit of an overcorrection.
What if you give the seeker move? Give the seeker room to move just a little, or chain it into another obstacle. Give constant movement.
You give the seeker room to move a little bit. So the seeker's not going to do anything until it can see us. So we're either in the box of the barrier or not.
Yeah, that's the only problem. It's not like we can have the seeker like wait and then go, which would be really nice. Like, oh, it's on a timer and then goes. Or
Flying is going to think you face off.
remember the beginning of the level? With the door? What if the seeker is trapped behind a door and you unlock it and then you have to hyper off of it? It's not charging at you immediately. You get to choose when it charges at you. Then you gotta hyper off it. And it connects back to the very first thing we did with the door. Time to release Seeker.
Okay, so where's my mouse? Alright. Come on, buddy, we're gonna give you a tiny little home. Boop, 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 boop.
Maybe this is something.
This may be something. Boop, 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 boop. Is the door animation weird? The answer is maybe. Yeah, we'll worry about the way that looks in a second. What do I do? Placement switch. What's the other thing I need? Dash switch.
Funny, very funny door.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Or
like
it could be a coin. There's a coin here. And the coin block the seeker is in a trap.
Okay.
It pushes it out of the trap and then you go. I think that will work better than this.
Okay. Okay.
You feel me?
I'm playing 52 pickup with what you're putting down right now.
Okay.
I'm slowly getting it together.
Okay, so there's a coin.
Coin. Alright, give me a second here. They're called touch switches? Yes.
It's to the left of Madeline.
Over here.
Yeah. That also kind of gives this area a little bit of stuff to do. Seeker is in the trap. Is in the barrier. In a barrier square.
Okay. Seeker. Barrier. You live here now, buddy.
And now there's a touch block, whatever.
Like a block.
The block.
Okay. Touch gate. Okay. No? No. I will figure it out. Give me a second. Switch.
Switch gate. Switch gate?
Yes. Red.
Yeah, so now we can fiddle around a little bit more with how it pushes the seeker out, but it's gonna push the seeker out of its cage, then you gotta go.
Okay.
So it solves the problem of it's not dashing directly at you, but you gotta do the thing, and then go. Okay, it's a little slow. But I like this concept.
Like 2 seconds.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if this is it, but... Okay, so what is the movement that you're shooting for now?
One thing is that you can just hit the seeker without hitting the switch. I mean, we could put spinners in the. You know, we could put spinners.
That's definitely worth
around
worth
the. We could put spinners on the outside of the cage. Like it would be surrounded by spinners, also. I would think.
Yeah, this is very, very bare bones, so we find good placement. But so, what's the ideal trick?
I think the ideal trick is the Seeker moves up, and as it's charging at you or before it charges at you, you gotta jump off of it.
Okay.
This is just better. I don't know. It's better than it being just stationary sitting here. That was too easy. It's better than it charging at you. Yeah, it's kind of moving a little bit.
I have no idea if I made it sometimes.
It's okay.
Even with Coyote, you know.
I think this has potential. Yeah, because it's still moving around a little bit.
Okay. So let's move them over a little bit. Let's move foreground tiles you over a teeny bit, and then also put some safety over here.
Yeah. Escalate.
No. Thoughts?
I think this shouldn't move right. I think this should actually move like here.
So pushes the fish out to the left.
Sure, yeah.
No, what did you mean? Because I think we're saying two different things here. When
I want it to be closer to on screen.
Okay.
And I also think you're still getting plenty of distance. So putting the Seeker next to the wall.
You want the Seeker further away from the wall,
Correct.
or you want the Seeker closer to us?
Both.
Okay. Because again, camera is something that we can handle with later.
I know. Just in terms of the trick.
Okay, because we can certainly extend, even further with our movement to the Seeker.
Right.
So we can just push the wall further away.
I know. I don't know if that's necessarily what I want. Yeah, like we don't even need the extension. Just hyper. Yeah. Maybe.
But if we have spinners,
I think this has potential. I think it's going to take some testing and messing around with.
Okay.
I like the concept, though, of you have to time it before it comes shooting at you. Maybe... Yeah, it didn't make it better. It didn't solve the problem.
No. Again, it's going to look real rough for a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Until we, put everything on screen that we need all the information for a little bit. But you want to shift gears
cool.
and kind of make it pretty?
Yeah, let's do it. This is pretty much like the halfway point of the level. Of course, we're gonna go back and tweak more things and get some more feedback on stuff. But that's pretty much our actual process for going through things. We just test things out. No, I don't like this. We test things out. This is good, and go back and forth. So, looking at how the level looks, how do we put in now the aesthetics for the parts we really like?
Sharp.
Well, first we have to make everything sharp, and we'll play test what we have so far.
So we can put in a lot of spikes to begin with. Spinners have better hitboxes, and I'll show you that in a quick second here. But how do we let the player know with what is danger and what is safe? What to do. So let me just real quick put left and right spikes on things, and then up and down spinners.
Sounds good. Yeah, the white spikes just look really nice in the city kind of aesthetic level.
right default.
And also, just a part of spikes are just visibility and where the player should go and shouldn't go.
Right. So, and we'll do some stock blue spinners for now.
Yeah, blue's nice.
This is danger.
Yep.
Not allowed. That is fine. Ooh, this is also not allowed.
Correct. Not allowed to stand there.
And that's danger.
Not allowed to stand there.
Alright. Pretty solid for now. This whole thing is spinners. I'm not going to spend the time to make a big block of spinners.
Yeah.
I want to talk about some more interesting things. So I'm going to press a button and make it red.
These are hitboxes. Yay!
So these are the hitboxes. Some really, really interesting things that you can see is Madeline's green hitbox here is much smaller than her animation. And so are these death hitboxes inside of the spikes. The spike hitboxes also only work if you're heading essentially at the sharp point of the spike.
Yep.
You know, a lot of times in Mario, you look at a triangle the wrong way, and that's the end of your run. Not so in Celeste. Very, very much more forgiving. You can even see right here, there's, I think, 5 pixels where Madeline can stand right here without getting spiked and just kind of hang out.
The forbidden to read.
Forbidden to
exactly.
And then over here, these, what we were calling spinners before, these blue crystals, have a circular hitbox. Yeah. So any direction that you come at those rows, if you get too close, you're going to get got.
Yep.
But again, you can see that they are much smaller than the picture makes it out to be. So.
Oh no.
Oh no. Alright. Oh no. This is
backup
fine.
strats.
This is fine.
Ooh. You're a little too far away there.
Nope. What I'm nervous about is that spinners are going to eat that explosion. I don't think they will.
No, I wouldn't think so. It just means you're just farther away.
I don't know what that was. My bad.
You know, you're just instinctively staying farther away from it. I think the spikes are more of the problem, actually.
Okay.
Because you're staying really far away from the white spikes, which is, like, understandable, but...
My goodness. Okay, so if we don't want to sort of, like, grab onto them, then what's the play?
I don't know, but...
Okay.
Like, you're just instinctively not going near it. Okay, but it also maybe just works, and that just needs to be something that you as a player need to deal with.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got this part.
Bonk. Uh-oh.
Oh
no! So maybe those spinners kind of hid the fish a little too much.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe.
And so maybe having some spikes there instead.
Yeah.
With much smaller sort of.
Yeah, I think it definitely like
drawing.
Makes it harder to see the fish.
It makes it easier to see that. So let me change that up real quick. Spike up default.
Yeah.
Easy fix there. Ooh. Get got.
We made it and it's still hard. So that's good.
Right. Definitely worth still workshopping this section.
Yeah, we have to. Because, you're just not... I don't know. I don't see anything... Why do those... I know that the spinners need to be there so you're not on the floor, but I don't see anything wrong with dashing to the left towards... I mean, I don't know.
No, because then you could just go straight through.
We'll work on it.
So here's something else where I've seen a handful of times already where this blade is not our friend pretty consistently.
Yep, so swapping the cycle.
Swapping it around, it's going to be on the opposite side of the screen when we get to it. And that's going to help us out.
go. Nice.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah, that cycle's already better. Nice. No!
Alright. So, moving pretty good. Yeah, absolutely get your hands on that. You know, and we were talking too, when it comes to difficulty, I'm pretty okay, even as one of the game designers here, of this difficulty being a little bit above my ceiling of like what I'm comfortable with. We have some really, really talented playtesters. There's a lot of talented people in the Celeste community who can just handle some hard as nails tricks.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That you know, so a lot of times we've given our playtesters some levels to try out, and they were just came back with, I want this to be harder. I just want this to be more difficult. You know, tighter, faster, all that stuff. So really, really cool stuff. So we can also I preset a little bit here. So if I just, oh no,
not that.
Don't
take away the foreground tiles.
Anything but that. If we remove our background tiles here for a little bit, we can see a nice little cityscape.
Yay!
And it adds a lot to it right away, and you can add parallax to it, so you can see that the Madeline, and when the camera moves, these foreground tiles, the girders that I'm standing on, are moving much faster than the city in the background, so it kind of gives the screen depth. My fish friend is a little
Goodbye,
stucco.
fishy!
So a lot of options here, and we're coming up a little close to the end of our time, and we want to showcase some of our finished levels where you can see all of that polish put onto it. You know, the music put onto it and everything. Do you want to show those off?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see some of the completed levels.
Frias, if you're there, and we can get the radio off so we can turn this music on. I didn't turn it on. Alright, so it's
crank some Celeste music
this
here.
Music on.
Awesome, thank you so much.
And if it's alright so I think we're going to show a B and a C side. The B side is going to have some minor glitch effects that you've seen. Thank you, Frias. In Farewell, there's 4 instances of a minor glitch effect that I think adds the aesthetic to it. So if that's something that you need to be aware of in the B side.
Yeah, so A side's good, but there's a flashing lights warning for the B side.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
You want to get your hands?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think this should show everything.
Oh yeah, so a few aesthetic things. So we're able to name all the chapters. You're able to, oh frick.
Yep, that's the right one.
Okay. Bean made these icons, which is really cool, and they're representative of the levels. So this first set is all about going up and going down. So made this little flag, hot and cold. This is an animals, so it's supposed to be like a zoo sign. There's some music for some jams and the castle. So Bean made all of those, which is really cool. The custom icons. This is terminal velocity. So custom music that you're going to be hearing, some cool backgrounds, and the gimmick of this level. And so it's supposed to say Madeline Start, like Mario Start, but my name in this file is Berry Mama.
Berry Mama.
Look at the happy clouds. So the gimmick of this level is that you just start off falling. You
never stop falling.
You never stop falling, and you can see that there are those indicators we talked about, the lamps. We introduced that in this level. So you're supposed to learn to follow the lamps and trust us. There's happy clouds in the background. Lots of cool foreground stuff. Oh no, I forgot how to do this trick. Okay, cool. And move into the H, which is the little confetti. Yay! We call it the H just like in Mario. And this is the second screen. So for the B and C sides, or the A and B sides, there are 2 screens each. You get a midway. And this is a completed level, and you can hear the Mario remix in the background, which I really love this remix. I cut that a little close.
No, you're fine.
And yay! There's the heart!
So you can name those hearts too. I'm sure that's a little loud.
Donut chasm.
You can add custom art to the end screens here.
Yeah, so Bean made this little end screen. It's just Madeline falling through the air. I love it. So that is the A side, and so to unlock the B side, we gotta snag the cassette. So I'm gonna go in. You can custom make cassette rooms. Spoilers for where the cassette is gonna be, but it's all good. I'm sure you'll forget by the time you play it when it comes out in 4 months.
Secrets.
And so, whoops! Kevin was hiding a little secret here.
What could go wrong?
And here's our first cassette room. So the gimmick of cassette rooms, it's all music based. So kind of interesting to design around. Bean has made all of the cassette rooms because he's really good at that music-y kind of stuff.
I didn't make the cassette music. Kevin was kind enough to create a template file that just has all of the music stuff in there to make it really easy to add custom music, and he notated a lot of it. And in the note of cassette rooms, it says, "I will explain this to you, but you really shouldn't do this."
Yeah, like please do not make your own music for the cassette rooms because it's hard.
It's very intensive. All the work that they put in to make sure that the game audio is always lining up with the swapping color blocks.
I'm so bad at this screen. It's gonna take me forever.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy.
I know, but
we also can't hear our game audio too
yeah,
much.
I can't hear the music,
so we got no click track in our ear.
I'm just doing this by sight, which is not the vibe, but it's okay. I believe in myself.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually the way that they approached
Come on.
the music line up here.
I believe.
So every 16th note delineation is one track, and they're all sequenced together and set up so that every X number of frames, depending on how quickly you are running your game, it will go to the next 16th note.
There we go. Phew. That screen's hard.
It's a tough screen. And so it just takes the frame counter and turns it into a sequencer, like a digital sequencer.
Yeah.
So that's how it's lined up every single time. That's why they're on global cycles, and you'll see speedrunners dash down a lot because it saves time. But a very, very cool approach to it.
Ready for the B-side?
So when we took the A sides and B sides, we wanted to try and keep the feel of the level, but we wanted to also keep the aesthetics of the reference levels from Quickie World. So even though this A side was bright and happy and we were falling downwards, the B side gimmick is that we're going up, but we also really like the ghost house aesthetic of the original B side.
Yeah.
And we added some fun stuff and Easter eggs in it as well.
So yeah, reminder, light flashing, lights warning, and glitch effects will be happening in this level. This is based upon Arby's Clock Tower from Quickie World 2. And this is the first B-side we made. And this is a fan favorite from many of our playtesters. And also the track is just absolute banger. So B-side, a little bit harder. Got some glitchy stuff going on. Oh no, I've already forgotten how to do this. Oh, okay, I made it. So this is a fun little. No, I didn't make it. This is a fun little auto scroller level. I did not mean to restart it. I'm sorry, because it resets the music. Anyways. So we're playing around with the concept of this auto scroller and having to break I don't remember how to do this level. The concept of having to, break things to be able to progress. Okay, I need you to do it because I haven't played it in a while.
That's all right. I've done a lot of this because it's the only way that I can take a look at all of these tiny little rooms in the hotel that I've made is by playing the level.
I get really distracted by looking at things, and I forget what I'm supposed to be doing in this level a lot.
When she says looking at things, she means chat.
Shh. I really love this.
So the goal is to keep track of this auto-scroller to make sure that it doesn't break on you. And got a little feather section here.
Hairless dust bunnies.
It's fine. What are you talking about? And glitch effects just getting glitchier.
Ooh.
Music just getting more intense.
Yeah, so the music is layered. So at different points in the level, it'll build upon itself, which is like really cool. This track's just absolutely banging. I love it. Me, you're Goniatsi. Oh, some more glitchiness ensuing.
Just hanging out in the pool.
So yeah, the gimmick of the clock tower is the first screen you go up, second screen you go down.
Oh no!
Oh, that's okay. I wanted to listen to the music more. Yeah, I love when it hits this part.
Oh, no.
It's so good.
I'm
Just jump and dash.
I'm trying to get fancy.
No.
Here I go. I'm fancy. Directly in the spikes.
So yeah, it's like there's this nice wall bounce here. So it's the B-side. It's got some tech in it.
So we teach hypers in our 2A, wall bounces in 5A, and then wave dashes in 5B. So we've obviously taken that into account in a lot of ways, and we haven't taken it into account, and our playtesters have exploited it. And if it's cool enough, then
so yeah, we've got
we'll
the danger torches. Fake heart! So rude. And yeah, so this is the ECC collector, named after Edgecase Collective for the glitchy aesthetic.
Oops.
And the inspiration for us to have made this. So we wanted to show off that level, of course, because you all are the reason why we've made this, and thank you for showing us, we could do this, and thanks for having us again to do map making. So that is the ECC clock tower. Probably a lot of people's favorite levels. I really love that level, especially for all the glitchy aesthetic. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I hope
a few minutes if anybody in chat has questions. I think.
Yeah, are there any last minute questions before we wrap up? Loving the end screen, yeah. I love the music and the all the aesthetics of is all Bean. He's done a really amazing job with all of it. He's too humble to talk about it.
I mean, I think it's so cool being able to do that because I didn't draw any of that, obviously. When I say that the graphics package was just freely available to anybody who wanted to make these levels, on the Ahorn wiki, you can just download a zip file that has every single pixel art, hand-drawn art, any visual asset in Celeste is in this file for you to play with, for you to study. It's some very, very cool material that the team has just put out into the world.
It's amazing.
And it's very cool to be able to learn from all of that.
And if you're interested in playing custom Celeste content that's already out there, I highly recommend the 2020 Spring Collab. It has levels ranging from beginner to grandmaster difficulty. And I also highly recommend Glyph, which is at approximately farewell difficulty. I'm learning the Glyph speedrun and it's really awesome. But yeah, that's everything from us.
I think so.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and asking questions and being here. Oh, and yeah, look! You can make little custom decals.
It is tall.
It is so tall.
It's a little tall.
Yay!
Put a stamp on it at the end here.
The little edge case stamp. Yeah! I think you may be able to comment. Yeah, the creators of the game provided all the art, which is really cool. Got the cue.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much,
everyone. Thank you
all
so much for hanging out and being in chat and helping us design this level. We'll put you all in the credits. Have a good night.
Bye.
Stick around for a musical up next.
Yes.
MTI's
got a Little Samson musical. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.